New Orleans Saints are home Week 8, win meter on 1 still. Round 1 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, both clubs meeting up following a loss.
Here's 4th down and 8. End zone incomplete.
Tampa Bay has lost 2 games to the Eagles and Lions, both 5-2 teams. Saints ain't that. They're the type of teams others have rebounded against, and Baker needs to do a little work with Dennis Rodman. Season low 66 rate last week, only 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Season low 4.6 yards per attempt.
And he's just not able to get enough on it, but that ball obviously wasn't even close.
Mayfield had 130-plus type rate games his previous 2 outings. So goes Baker, so goes the Bucs offense. 9 points versus Detroit, 4 for 16 on 3rd down. Only 1 trip to Scott Hansen's abode.
Mayfield is going to air it out for Ibuka, and he overthrew him.
Again, previous 4 games, 25-plus points, and 1 more for you. 2 or fewer sacks taken the previous 4. Mayfield planted 4 times by the Lions.
Mayfield backpedals, can't find anywhere to go except down.
Saints defense has been putting up bricks this year, so, they're a team you can rebound against. Gave up 26 points to Chicago, which is the Bears' average, basically, and what the Saints have given up for the year on average, so that all fit.
Cut back, hops into the end zone.
The primary thing they struggled with was the run, though, not the pass. Gave up 222 yards on the ground, 5.6 a run, 2 touchdowns. They played the Travis role and let Swift do whatever he wanted.
Here's Swift. Big hole. Swift on the run into the secondary and down.
This thing on? Rachaad White still filling in for Bucky Irving, only 38 yards, 3.8 per attempt. Saints front Baker is staring at, only sacked Caleb Williams once on 26 pass attempts, but the secondary behind them held Williams to 172 yards, no touchdowns. Picked him off for a nice 61 rate.
Intercepted! Quincy Riley, his first NFL interception.
Their season rate dial tuned to 104.7, which is not good if you're a secondary and it's your season rating allowed. So played Caleb better than most, has to go forth without Mike Evans. Real bummer, man. Maybe Chris Godwin comes back soon. He was out last week. Emeka Ibuka played, though, led the team with 12 targets, 58 yards.
There he is, Ibuka, with a big gain.
Tez Johnson, 58 yards, and Baker's touchdown, 45 yards the week prior.
Plenty of speed, gets a block, hops toward the end zone, spinning touchdown.
Cade Otton led them with 65 yards.
Little shoulder fake. What a beautiful throw and catch as Cade Otton makes the grab.
Okay, Bucs defense versus New Orleans offense. Alvin Kamara likes pina coladas. Dancing in the rain too, I don't know. Doesn't want to be traded despite New Orleans' 1-6 record and having to play a part in an offense under 22 points in 6 of their last 7 games after only coming up with 14 versus the Bears, 1 red zone trip, 3 for 10 on 3rd down.
Rattler under pressure, ball is out, he fumbled, and it's recovered by Chicago.
Spencer Rattler had 2 nice drives back-to-back that resulted in touchdown passes, but he's coming in off a 3 INT game, a 66 rating as well, just couldn't connect enough on 3rd down.
On the roll, Rattler throws, it's deflected and intercepted by Edmonds with his 3rd interception thrown today.
Tampa's secondary that he gets battled Detroit. They gave up 241 yards to Jared Goff, but a low 90s rate, only 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He was on fire the previous 2 games, so it was a solid effort.
2nd down, here is a pick, intercepted, and it's Dean.
Same can be said about their defense holding Detroit to 24. That's not super low, but 3 for 13 on 3rd down. Only 2 trips allowed to the red zone. Considering their own offense's play, it wasn't a bad outing, really.
Goff, the ball's out, and Tampa Bay has it.
Pass rush showed up, too. Got to Goff 4 times, beating a pretty stacked O-line. 20 sacks for 2025, top 10 good.
Pressure, and down goes Goff. Tyke Smith, and that is a big play by Todd Bowles' defense.
Rattler took 4 sacks to a Bears pass rush that had struggled to make it home prior. It was a season high in sacks taken for Spencer.
4-man pressure, in trouble, and the 3rd sack of the day.
Buccaneers DBs gave up 80-plus yards and a touchdown to Amon-Ra St. Brown, gave up over 80 yards through the air to Jahmyr Gibbs, and gave up a 78-yard TD run to him, 136 and 2 touchdowns given up to him for the night.
Right up the gut, there goes Gibbs. Foot race.
Kamara has had those kind of games, but it's been a while. Last week, 3 catches, 1 yard, 11 rush attempts, 28 yards, 2.5 per carry. Not sure if he's into yoga. Chris Olave, though, with his second 98-yard game in a row.
He's got Olave out there, drops it into Olave and down.
Juwan Johnson with his second best game of the season, 79 yards for a dude that spent 5 games between 15 and 51.
Here's Rattler to the air, wide open Juwan Johnson.
And Rashid Shaheed ponied up for 40 yards.
Rattler from his goal line finds an opening and finds Shaheed.
Bucks have taken hoot at 5 of the last 6 games they've played. Saints, though, up by 13 in the series. Buccaneers started their existence off with 26 straight losses. Snapped the streak when they played the Saints Week 13 of the 1977 season.
On December 11th, 1977, it finally happened. After 26 games worth of waiting, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers made all the right plays and celebrated the first victory in the team's brief history.
Texans back home after a rough trip to the Northwest. They are taking on the Monty Python Black Knights this week, aka the San Francisco 49ers, who are off to Houston after picking up yet another win despite losing their arms and legs. It's just a flesh wound. Guess bleeding on some ankles is enough.
Heating up, Penix is contacted, in trouble. Huff tried to rip the ball out that time.
If your child is planning on going out for Halloween and he has plans to go as a 49ers player and he ends up slipping on a melted Snickers bar and breaks his ankle, that's on you. They lost another guy in their win versus Atlanta, but CMC did finally find his footing, though, along the ground, that is. 129 rush yards on a Christian McCaffrey-like 5.4 a carry, 2 touchdowns, first game over 4.2 a run. He's been in the 2s and 3s most games. First game over 70 yards of the rushing variety.
Here he is on the run, pushing the pile to the goal line, in for the touchdown!
And it did not come at the expense of his air game. 7 catches, 72 yards. Had to remind the kid on the other sideline who the OG dual threat running back is. 50-plus receiving yards in every game so far.
Looking and throwing to McCaffrey, who goes to the 1-yard line.
He kind of saved the day, though. 49ers offense only mustered 20 points, which is their season average. Only 2 red zone trips. Mac Jones was more Jaguars late Patriots Mac. Only 152 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns, a 64 rating. First game under 275 yards passing. He has 3 picks in his last 2 games, no tutties. Sounds like he's starting at least 1 more, too.
From the 23, off the hands of Jennings, and Ellis comes up with the interception.
Texans defense, as it pertains to CMC, gave up 115 rush yards to Seattle's running back duo, a couple of touchdowns.
Running behind a heavy formation and just walking into the end zone.
You might think, hey, Houston just gave up 27 points, so their defense is ripe for the taking. You'd say that only if you didn't see their loss to Seattle. They held Seattle's rush attack to 3.6 a carry, holding running backs to 3.8 on the year. It was as good a defense could play while giving up that many points. It did everything in its power to win that game, took the ball away 4 times. They kicked Seattle off the field 12 of 14 third down chances, and they scored a TD in the effort.
How many times are you down 2 scores when you have created 4 turnovers?
Texans still number 1 in scoring defense at 14 points per game. They were stuck with so many short fields and offensive ineptitude. They held the previously hot Sam Darnold to a 73 rate, picked him off along with a pick of Cooper Kupp, held Seattle under 7 yards per attempt.
This is the kind of situation, Dan, you just don't want to be in against this defense. They can play tight coverage and they really get after it up front.
Jones still looking at the secondary, holding quarterbacks to the lowest rate in the game, second lowest completion percentage allowed. They did give up 123 yards to Jackson Smith and Jigba. Who doesn't, I guess, but I thought Derek Stingley would get to shadow him all game. Didn't turn out to be the case, and while he had an interception, he did give up JSN's touchdown.
And right for the end zone, and scoring and dunking is Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Nonetheless, they can't expect to win games unless their offense turns it around. They couldn't run the ball at all versus the Hawks. CJ Stroud led them with 25 yards. They spent most of the game going backwards. Stroud sacked 3 times. Houston players tackled 10 times for losses.
3rd and 13 could be a nightmare against this crew. Stroud is backpedaling. He'll be dropped.
Do the Texans not ever practice quarterback sneaks? Does Stroud refuse to run them? Doesn't feel comfortable with Chubb or Woody pushing on his tush? They needed a yard to move the sticks on back-to-back plays, a yard to score on first down, and they never tried it once.
Make it to Mark. Stroud on the run. Flips it, broken up.
I'm going with the quarterback sneak here.
And their passing attack, which might be without their best receiver, Nico Collins, who suffered a concussion, was abysmal in Seattle even when he was on the field. Stroud 23 of 49. That's a 46% completion rate. Brutal. 4.7 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, a 59 rating.
Pressure, steps up, delivers, inaccurate, intercepted.
Half of Stroud's 2025 performances have been of the dud variety. Houston's offense, unable to score 20 points in 4 of 6 games, only good for 13 points versus Seattle, 2 for 15 on 3rd down.
You need 10 on 3rd down to get this drive going. Backpedals incomplete, broken up.
And it doesn't get easier this week. Niners defense, first game, sans Bosa and Warner, lost cornerback Renardo Green along the way, facing 2 playmakers who went for 150-plus yards each the week before, held Atlanta to 10 points, only 2 red zone trips, whipped that hair back, DC Robert Saleh, for a job well done.
3rd and 4, Penix in trouble, collapsing pocket, and they get to him.
Versus Bijan, who made Bills defenders look like pylons, the Niners hold Robinson to 2.9 a carry, 40 yards.
What a cut by Robinson. Can't make the second one to get away.
Holding ball carriers to a respectable 4 per attempt, too. 2 sacks, 38 Michael Penix pass attempts. They'll take anything they can get right now. They only have 9 for the year. They played him better than most of the quarterbacks they've faced. 1 touchdown, under 6.5 yards per attempt. 21 of 38. That's a lot of incomplete passes.
Penix, pocket collapses, he takes off. Rose here on the run, incomplete.
Didn't pick him off. Still haven't picked off a single pass this season. Rate allowed for the year over 100, but they held Drake London to 42 yards on 10 targets. Gave up 62 yards to tight end Kyle Pitts, 68 to Darnell Mooney. If Nico is a no-go for Houston, it leaves Jalen Noel. The rookie had his best outing with 77 yards.
Steps up, lofts it downfield, and the grab is made by Jalen Noel.
And Dalton Schultz, who also had his best 2025 outing, 9 catches, 98 yards.
And the catch is made by Schultz, and Dalton Schultz, second nice pass play tonight.
Stroud to Collins was rough before he left, too. 10 targets, just 27 yards. San Francisco and Houston together is like spotting a jackalope. This will be the 6th time they've met, tying Houston-Seattle for the least played in modern NFL history. 4 Niners wins in the 5 they've played, 2009 the first and only time the Texans have beaten them.
It takes a specific skill set to be a great leader. For some, it means leading by example. Like Steve Slayton did, scoring twice for the Texans.
Running right, trying to find a hole. Dives in! Touchdown, Houston! What a play for Super Steve Slayton.
In the second half, San Francisco benched quarterback Sean Hill in favor of Alex Smith. Smith made just 1 mistake. Unfortunately for the 49ers, it was on their final drive.
Intercepted, the Texans have it. Eugene Wilson is going to end the threat, and the Texans will win this game.
Time to run it back already. For the second time in 3 weeks, we get Giants-Eagles, round 2 in Philadelphia. Giants officially a team that cannot be overlooked. Eagles officially back in the driver's seat in the NFC East.
And after the Vikings stall, the Eagles ball.
Okay, thumbnail recap of their first game. You can decide what you think is still relevant. Saquon hit at 4.8 a carry, only 12 tries. Dallas Goedert, 100-plus yards and a touchdown. Jalen Hurts threw for 280-plus yards, only 1 touchdown, but he got picked. Got sacked 3 times. Brian Burns getting him twice. G-Men held Philadelphia to a meager 17 points, 1 for 9 on third down.
The final score from MetLife Stadium. Yeah, you're driving home happy.
Jackson Dart threw for a touchdown, ran for 1. Wan'Dale Robinson led the team with 86 yards. Cam Skattebo touched it down 3 times, almost 100 yards on 5.2 a carry. 34 points, 11 for 16 on third down.
Handoff, Skattebo runs left into the end zone. Touchdown, Giants!
As Mr. Frog for President put it in the comments section last week, Giants are suddenly must-watch football. The vibes coming off that team are insane. And despite their fourth quarter defensive meltdown in their loss to Denver last week, it still holds true because Jackson Dart struts in off his best showing yet, though his pick aided Denver's comeback as well. But they have an offense that went for 32 points against a stout Denver defense. Should have been 33. That's back-to-back 30 burgers for Blue.
Dart will run it himself and dives. Touchdown is right.
Dart is starting to hit more bullseyes. 3 touchdowns versus a Patrick Surtain-led Denver secondary, 280-plus yards, over 8.5 yards per attempt. It's a real bummer that Malik Neighbors isn't part of all this.
Winding up, going, he's got him! Touchdown! Holy smokes, he was wide open.
The Philadelphia secondary he goes after next gave up over 300 yards to Carson Wentz. Didn't allow any TD passes, though. May have gotten an assist from an unseen zebra, but picked Wentz off twice, held him to a sub-65 rate.
Looking downfield, launches a ball, dangerous pass, intercepted.
They were able to keep Minnesota to 22 points by holding their ground inside the 20. They let Minnesota in the red zone 6 times, but allowed only 1 touchdown. They also took one of those picks to the crib.
Hit as he throws, picked off. There goes Jalix Hunt. House call Philadelphia.
Playing with fire, letting a team in the red zone 6 times, though. Picked up a couple of sacks on 42 pass attempts, so barely noteworthy. Dart was dropped by the league's top pass rush 4 times on his 33 pass attempts, minimized the losses to 16 yards at least.
Here comes the pressure from Cooper, and down he goes. Sacked back at the 15.
Philadelphia secondary gave up 79 yards to Justin Jefferson, 128 to Jordan Addison. Still Wan'Dale that led New York in receiving, saw a team-high 12 targets, went for 95 yards, 84-plus back-to-back weeks as he takes over as Dart's go-to.
Now watch, he tries to stop, he sees he's going to get hit, then he bounces it, and Robinson's able to get to the outside.
Dart used his tight ends for over 150 yards. Daniel Bellinger scored 88 yards.
Jackson Dart to the air, and he's got Bellinger again. 29-yard strike.
Theo Johnson painted it blue as well. He scored in 3 of his last 4 now, added 66 yards on top of it.
Caught on the ricochet. It's grabbed here by the galloping Johnson. Touchdown!
And of course, Cam Skattebo pulled a touchdown in through the air, 34 receiving yards, added 60 along the ground. He's racked 90-plus scrimmage yards in 5 straight.
He's gonna stiff arm his way in. Touchdown, Giants!
Philadelphia held Jordan Mason to 57 yards, just 3.8 a run, which was still better than what Saquon produced. Barkley just 2.4 a carry versus Minnesota, only 44 yards. Needs to hop on that deer to get it going, maybe. 5 straight games now under 60 yards. His 4th game under 3.4 per attempt, too.
Wow, that play got blown up immediately. He was basically on top of Saquon Barkley.
Philadelphia's offense only accounted for 21 points versus Minnesota, who does sport a good defense. Still, only 3 for 10 on third down, only 1 trip to the red zone. Coming off back-to-back 17-point showings, their offense is still off.
There is a blitz, an extra body for Minnesota. Hurts trying to avoid it. He will not.
Jalen Hurts, though, comes in hot. Perfect 158.3 rating on 19 of 23 passing, 326 yards, over 14 yards per attempt. That's huge. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
First 300-yard passing game in over a year.
He's been fantastic.
Hurts has clicked for 280-plus yards 3 straight games, has a 100-plus rate in 4 of his last 5, 11 touchdowns on the year, only 1 pick, and takes on a secondary and defense that imploded in the last quarter they were on the field. No team had ever given up 33 points in the fourth quarter after pitching a shutout the first 3.
Backpedaling touchdown, and the Broncos are back in business.
Giants were missing 2 DBs, ended up letting Bo Nix go for 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, gave up 2 huge passes in the waning moments to let them get into field goal position.
And caught by Sutton. 2 seconds left. They're going to try a field goal to win it.
The lone bright spot on defense for them, Brian Burns, who added 2 more sacks to his league-leading collection. He has 9 now, 2 in back-to-back games, and a sack in 6 of 7 shifts.
There they come and got him. Brian Burns, his 2nd sack today.
Burns' 2 bags, the only 2 New York came up with versus Knicks, gave up 42 yards to tight end Evan Ingram, 85 to Marvin Mims, 87 to Cortland Sutton, gave up big catches to both guys late. Philadelphia's wide receiver combo, the usual suspects without limps. A.J. Brown's best 2025 outing consisted of scoring twice along with 121 yards.
Hurts pointing, throwing, trying to find a loose man. It's A.J. Brown. He's in.
And Devontae Smith hauled in some big catches versus Minnesota, a touchdown plus 183 through the air, caught 9 of his 11 targets. That's 110 plus in 2 of his last 3.
Throws open man Devontae Smith. He's got a new career high in receiving.
Not much from Goddard week 7, and Hurts with minus 10 rush yards. G-men let Knicks score on them twice along the ground with 48 rush yards, 9.6 a carry, 5.8 a run allowed to J.K. Dobbins on 14 attempts for 81 yards, stopping the run a season-long weakness for New York.
Dobbins with a hole, 32-yard run by J.K. Dobbins.
2009. 45-38, without looking who won what is the highest combined score ever in a Giants-Eagles game.
In his 11 years in Philadelphia, Andy Reid has heard it all. But even through foggy glasses, he was fortunate to see the highest scoring game in the 76-year history of this rivalry.
He pumps, he is looking, he is firing it deep, and it is caught! And walking in for a touchdown backwards is Deshaun Jackson!
Jackson was kryptonite to the G-men, who gave up quick strikes most of the night, and then died a slow death on a 12-play, 91-yard drive.
Man, heat up the popcorn for this one and make sure there is plenty to work with. Dallas Cowboys offensive band back together again, fresh off a 44-point showing.
Fake to Williams. Prescott throws it out to Ferguson. Touchdown, Dallas.
Taking on the Broncos in Denver, who just put up 33 points in 1 quarter.
The Broncos are 5-2 for the first time in 9 years.
Holy Houdini, Batman. Broncos offense pulled another rabbit out of the hat in the fourth quarter last week. That's twice in their last 3 games they've slept in before waking up in a panic in the fourth quarter. Look at the last 12 quarters they've played. 0 TDs in 9 of the 12. They were shut out heading into the fourth last week and then blew up for 33, an NFL record for fourth quarter points after being blanked for 3 quarters. Second most ever by a team in the final frame.
And Bo Nix with a touchdown run, his 2nd of the season. What a comeback by the Denver Broncos.
Cowboys O-Face didn't wait to get going. Took care of 37 of their 44 points versus Washington, 27 plus in 5 of their last 6.
Give it to Javonte Williams. Up the gut and in.
That's how you start fast.
Dak Prescott flexing his way into Week 8. 3 touchdowns, no picks versus the Commanders. 260 plus yards, a 130 rate. Dude's in beast mode. 3 plus touchdowns in 4 straight with no INTs. A 124 plus rate in each game.
Lofting it up, George Pickens. Oh, come on!
Perfect throw.
Got Lamb back. cashed in one of his 5 catches for a 74-yard TD, 110 yards through the air. Guess CDs are worth investing in.
The time, airs it out deep down the field. CeeDee Lamb breaks the tackle, no one home.
That 1-2 punch they've got looking as good as Super Macho Man's. George Pickens still went for 82 yards, averaging 86 per game.
Pickens, good coverage. He's got it. Oh, how many great catches is he going to make today?
Jake Ferguson rounding out their aerial attack most games, scored twice versus Washington, paint jobs in 4 straight games now.
Throws over the middle, it is caught! Ferguson, touchdown Dallas.
That's a handful for any defense, let alone one that just gave up 32 points. A secondary that gave up over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns combined to tight ends Daniel Bellinger and Theo Johnson. 86 yards allowed to Wan'Dale Robinson. Let Jackson Dart go for a career high, 280-plus yards, 3 touchdowns.
Goes to the outside like he's going to block, and then they lose him.
Losing him indeed, my goodness.
Denver's defense holding teams to 18 a game overall. Their secondary holding quarterbacks to an 82 rate, 5th lowest, so their play versus New York out of character. Their pass rush still did its thing at least, added 4 more sacks to their league-leading total.
Here comes the pressure from Cooper, and down he goes. Sack back at the 15.
Dak only took 1 sack on his 30 pass attempts versus Washington. It's a key matchup. 4 straight games with less than 1 sack taken or fewer, has only taken 3 in a game once, only 2 teams with fewer sacks taken this year.
Look at the protection. You have that clean pocket like that, you can make a lot of decisive throws.
And that ground game, man. Javonte Williams rolling in off a 116-yard game, a touchdown, 6.1 a carry, 4.3 or better in 5 of 7, 76-plus yards in 5 of 7. Would love to show out again versus his old team.
What a run by Javonte as he smashed Marshawn Lattimore.
Just lowering the boom right there.
That was against a Washington defense that had good numbers versus running backs, too. Not so good the last few weeks. Denver's defense held Cam Scadaboo to 3.8 a run, 60 yards, holding backs to a solid 4.1 in 2025.
Pitch out to Scadaboo. He was devoured early there with a big-time hit.
Back to Denver's offense now. Bo Nix, a fantasy wrecking machine week 7. 279 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks.
To the end zone, deflected, and did Franklin get it on the ricochet? Touchdown, Denver!
The Bro Man hasn't been super consistent as of late, though. 83 rating in that win, less than 6 yards per attempt. He's been sub 7 yards per attempt in every game but 1 this season. Only has 1 100-rate game under his belt, dueling a Cowboys secondary and defense that played its best game to date. 22 points ties their season low. Deron Bland with a pick 6 held Washington's passing attack to 1 touchdown, under 7 yards per attempt, a sub 70 rate.
Throws it in the flat, and picked off. Guess who? Deron Bland.
Brandon Perna's like, yeah, but that was against a Washington offense without Terry McLaurin and Debo and Jaden Daniels for half the game. They're still 31st in rating allowed after that, 30th in points per game allowed. Scooter Magruder, though, was happy to see his boys get to Daniels and Marcus Mariota 4 times.
The fake ball is loose. Cowboys recover.
Nix, like Dak, not easy to locate at home. They are 2nd in sacks taken. He bolts when he's in trouble. Ran in 2 touchdowns last week, 48 rush yards as well.
Here comes Nix getting a block, and he'll get inside the pylon.
Paired with J.K. Dobbins, 81 yards on 5.8 a run versus New York, 75-plus yards in 5 of his last 6 now, 5.4 or better in 4 of those.
Dobbins with a hole, takes it inside the 20.
Dallas held Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt to 33 yards, 2.5 a run. Did give up a touchdown to Daniels, though, 69 yards to him and Mariota, 4.9 a carry allowed overall in that game, 2 touchdowns, 136 rush yards.
Daniels going to keep it, and he is in for the touchdown.
Their secondary gave up 60 yards to wide receiver Jalen Lane, 59 to Chris Moore. No one else had 40. They draw tight end Evan Ingram in this one, 42 yards versus the Giants.
Ingram out of bounds. Oh, he stayed in and finally brought down by Belton.
Marvin Mims came up with a huge catch in the 4th quarter as part of an 85-yard day.
Nix going long and caught by Rams!
Most consistent yards earner for them week to week, Cortland Sutton led the way with 87 yards, 80 plus in 5 of his last 6.
Nix, and caught by Sutton. Got it on the side.
Scoots versus Good Sports. It's good stuff. Boys trying to snap a 7-game losing streak to the Bronx. Denver up 9-5 all time. They met in the Super Bowl, of course, 1977 season.
In New Orleans for Super Bowl 12, the Cowboys faced not only Denver, but Bronco Mania. However, emotion rarely, if ever, spells execution, the trademark of the Dallas defense. When the clock struck 12, it was doomsday in the Dome, the sacking of Cinderella. Sometimes the best teams do not always win. This was not the case in 1977, as the Dallas Cowboys capped a truly marvelous season, a world championship season, 27-10.
Baltimore Ravens ready to start a run across the proverbial table. They're at home after a bye, taking on the Chicago Bears, who are close to calling Frank the Tank in.
Swift able to get free, cuts it back.
Not quite streaking through the quad just yet, but the Bears roll into Baltimore on a 4-game win streak. Star of the show and their offense the last 2 weeks, DeAndre Swift and his O-line for all the lanes they're opening up. Swift, 124 yards on 6.5 a carry versus New Orleans, a touchdown. So back-to-back games with 100-plus rush yards, 6.5-plus yards per carry in each, a touchdown in both games.
Into the end zone, touchdown Chicago.
Chicago's rush attack blazing in off a 222-yard day. Kyle Monangai with a career-high 81 yards and a touchdown. Nice 6.2 average for the rookie.
First down, Monangai into the secondary and down at the Saints' 44.
Those two gents, plus Jake Moody again, the primary fuel to Chicago's 26 Week 7 points, aided largely by their defense giving them the ball 4 times. They've scored 24-plus, though, in 5 of 6.
Moody's kick is good. 4 for 4 today, and it's 26-14.
Their ability to keep pounding the rock effectively versus Baltimore depends on if Roquan is healed up, among others. On paper, yes, Ravens giving up 4.7 per carry to running backs.
Good run as he bouncing off his own players.
Lots of yeah buts to their numbers due to the injury bug infestation they've dealt with. Been missing key guys most games, multiple at times, so just know their current digits are all rough in part because of that. No team has given up more than their 32 points per game, though, have stunk on 3rd down and in the red zone.
Wide open, makes the catch, walks in, touchdown Rams.
There also has been some questions about their DC's management of things, so not all of its injuries. Secondary with only 1 interception, safety Kyle Hamilton and cornerback Marlon Humphrey have both missed games. Jair Alexander only played 2 games, allowing 246 yards per game passing, a rate of 108, all live in Oscar the Grouch receptacles.
Wide open inside the 20, he goes.
Haven't been able to get home to too many QBs. Nnamdi Madubuike only 2 games played. Kyle Van Noy missed a few. Only 8 sacks, below average pressure rate. Now they turn their sights on Caleb Williams. Only 1 sack taken versus New Orleans. Didn't help matters. Only 172 yards, no touchdowns. 1 INT, a low 60s rate versus a Saints secondary that's been as rough as Baltimore's. His roughest showing of 2025.
Down the sideline, intercepted!
Roma Dunze, 31 yards last week. Colston Loveland, 24. Luther Burden, 22. Cole Kmet, 16. DJ Moore, the only guy with 40-plus yards last week at 43.
Lands up in the arms of DJ Moore. And Moore breaking tackles inside the 20.
Again, Chicago has won their last 2 on the back of Swift, Moody, and takeaways. Bears with 3 versus Washington, 4 more versus New Orleans. Only 1 red zone trip allowed, 14 points.
Rattler throws, it's deflected and intercepted by Edmonds. Tremaine Edmonds with the pick.
That's the second time they've held an opponent under 24 this season. One would assume Lamar is back. The Bears are like, that's not fair. We want Cooper Rush. Instead, it's a healed and rested Jackson. Ravens offense 24 per game for the year, 32 per game when Jackson started.
Now on third down, Andrews, diving catch, touchdown Ravens.
Lamar may have only gone 1-3 before getting hurt, but Chicago's secondary draws the quarterback with the best rating in the league. 130 is Cartman Fat, leads the NFL in yards per completion, 10 touchdowns, only 1 pick.
And Lamar, he's able to throw that thing perfectly.
Wow.
Baltimore's quarterbacks, 20 sacks taken, so over 3 per game for them, taking a sack on 11% of their pass attempts, only a few teams worse.
In some trouble. Here comes Jared Verse, and he's got him.
Bears pass rush has lacked teeth in most of their games, only 8 sacks prior to last week, and then bam, bagged up Spencer Rattler 4 times, 3 off blitzes, 1 from Montez Sweat.
Ball is out, he fumbled, and it's recovered by Chicago. Montez Sweat.
Chicago's secondary was giving up a 100-plus rate before Rattler, 3 INTs later, and they got it down into the mid-90s at least, so played the pass better compared to their body of work.
And instead it's intercepted by Kevin Byard.
Did give up 230-plus yards, 79 to tight end Jawan Johnson, 98 and 2 touchdowns allowed to Chris Olave. They sort of spaced back-to-back drives. Only 1 Ravens pass catcher averaging more than 30 yards per game, Zay Flowers, the guy who you can expect to eat 70 yards per game, close to 6 catches per contest.
Oh, somehow Flowers caught it. He's got a first down. How in the world did that get to him?
Rashad Bateman, just 20 yards per game. D-Hop has chipped in with close to 30. Mark Andrews in that same territory.
Second down, quick throw over the middle, and an immediate tackle to Andrews.
The ground game, of course, in Derrick Henry's hands most of the time, hitting at 77 per contest, 5 per carry, 4 touchdowns. Just hasn't always been the focal point in their games.
Quick one is going to Derrick Henry, right up the gut. Derrick Henry running through Rams and down to the 15.
Lamar, close to 8 yards per attempt, 41 rush yards per game.
Jackson, there he goes. First down.
Bears didn't face many Saints runs, just 17, 11 by Alvin Kamara, held him to 2.5 an attempt, 5.3 per carry allowed to running backs big picture, though they've played the last 2 well.
Not going to get there. Stopped by Montez Sweat, and it's 4th down.
Not much history between the flock and bear down. Chicago with a 4-3 lead overall. The last 2 times they beat them, both in overtime, the most recent 2017.
Regulation ended with the score knotted at 24. With 5:40 left in overtime, the offense broke the huddle at its own 7-yard line.
Give it to Jordan Howard. Howard off the left side, tries to break. He does break a tackle and gets to the corner. There goes Jordan Howard to midfield. Jordan Howard sneaks out of the pile and gets a big chunk of change. Some nifty footwork in the pocket by Trubisky. Bought him a moment in a window. 24-0 with 2:11 to go in overtime for the win. Kick up by Bart. The kick is good. Bears have won it in Baltimore.
Buffalo Bills head to Carolina this week after a week off to hopefully figure out how to snap a 2-game losing streak. But what's this? A Panthers team that's won 3 of their last 4, a 3-game win bender to put them over the 500 mark.
Oh, he's got a wall of blockers and he runs past them. Hubbard wasn't waiting around.
I know Chuba is cool, but this has to be Rico's team right now. Dowdle split the workload with Hubbard in their win over New York, so didn't get to see if he could drop 2 Bills 3 straight, but 17 carries at 4.6 per toke, 79 yards. He's been a beast the last 3 weeks.
He's got a few blocks, and Rico Dowdle up to the 20-yard line on a first down.
Panthers offense was cooled off though. 3 games over 27 points, 3 under 14 points, 13 last week, 5 for 17 on third down, 1 for 3 in the red zone, so the offense isn't strutting in by any means.
Bryce Young has a lot of time and wide open and threw high.
Buffalo's defense has been a running back's dream thus far, giving up 5.4 a carry to backs, the most generous to the position in all of the land.
Can they catch him? They cannot. Touchdown, Falcons, 81 yards.
Bills defense overall, 22 points game allowed per game. That's kind of mid, sub-mid on third down, giving up 5.7 yards per play, which is also South Pole stuff.
Catch made. London off and running. Can he get to the end zone? Time has run out.
The runner was short of the goal line.
Their secondary has given up a 92 rate, that's basic. Their star corner, Christian Benford, has given up 4 touchdowns, a 121 rate, but not getting gashed as they're holding quarterbacks to 6.6 yards per attempt. Safety Cole Bishop holding his targets to a sub-60 rate.
That tight man coverage, Benford knows that safety's down inside. It's a good job.
Do they take on Bryce Young or Andy Dalton? Does it matter? And I only mean that from the perspective Dalton's not a bad second guy relative to Young's play so far. Young only 138 passing yards versus the Jets, only 5.5 yards per attempt, no picks and a touchdown before leaving with a bum ankle.
He's a great manager of the game, and I think that's an important attribute for any quarterback.
Dalton got in 7 pass attempts, 60 yards over 8.5 per attempt. Only 1 pass catcher of note in their most recent win. XL, 9 catches, 92 yards and a touchdown. Best game of the season for him.
Young, can he find anybody? Yes, he can! Touchdown, Xavier Legette!
T-Mac, just 33 yards, didn't have Hunter Renfrow. Each guy sacked once, so 2 sacks taken, 32 pass attempts. Hasn't been a major problem in a game yet. Bills pass rush, 15 sacks, healthy enough being they don't blitz much. Joey Bosa, 2. Greg Rousseau, 1.5. AJ Epinesa, 1.5. Ed Oliver, 2.
Penix from the pocket, running out of time, and he'll be swarmed and slammed down by big Ed Oliver.
So, how about Carolina's ability to stop Buffalo's once mighty offense? Josh Allen has had 2 subpar outings in 2025, one right before their week off, a 103 rate overall, over 230 yards per game, 11 touchdowns against 4 picks.
Allen on the move, now flips it to Davis. He's got some space. Davis for the pylon, dives, touchdown.
Bills offense also looking to put that Falcons game in the rearview mirror. They hit the bye off back-to-back games under 21 points. Their first 4, they couldn't help but put up 30. That's who they think they are, but time to prove it.
Allen, wide open, Kincaid, touchdown!
Carolina's defense took week 7 off. Wait, my bad. They faced the Jets. Can only play who's in front of you. Panthers play against the pass, middle of the pack before facing Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor. Left the game with improved digits after picking off Taylor twice. Held the duo to a sub-40 rate. No touchdowns allowed. Under 175 yards.
And reaching up, it's intercepted by Horn again.
They'd welcome another shopping trip like last week's. Derek Brown, 2 of Carolina's 6 bags. 6 sacks for a team that had 5 all year, mind you.
And he's in trouble and he's going to be sacked. Fields brought down by partially Derek Brown.
Allen has been sacked 12 times for a 2 per game average, which is standard, but his line and legs have made it tough to pressure him. 25% pressure rate is top 5 good.
Allen on the move. chased and is going to be dragged down inside the 20.
Panthers DBs get one of those collective pass-catching units. No clear number one, just depends on the game. Dalton Kincaid leads them with 57 yards per contest, scored 3 times.
End zone touchdown! Dalton Kincaid is there for 6.
Khalil Shakir leads their wideouts with 44 yards per game.
Breaks through the defense and stays on his feet. Shakir, what a play! Touchdown!
Josh Palmer averaging 39 per. Deep guy Keon Coleman 39 per as well.
Allen to Coleman again. 20 yards for Keon Coleman.
Only Bijan and JT are doing more along the ground than James Cook. Close to 90 rushing yards per game, 5 touchdowns, a very healthy 5 yards per carry.
Driving forward, and he's getting going now. That's a welcome sign for Buffalo as he rips off a dozen yards.
Panthers didn't get hurt by Breece Hall, holding running backs to 4.3 a carry. That's the league average. Stronger versus quarterbacks, holding them to just 3.4 per escape. Allen, of course, has to be accounted for. 42 rush yards per game, 5.5 per John.
Josh steps up, stays on his feet, and picks up the first down. Allen still going.
Bills Mafia has taken keep pounding 6 of 8 tries. The last time Carolina beat them, 2017, I promise they'll put on a better show than that one.
In the home opener, the defense continued its dominance, holding an opponent out of the end zone for a second consecutive week. Pro Bowl kicker Graham Gano provided all the Panthers' points, connecting on 3 field goals in the win.
The Panthers are going to go to 2-0.
Gano finished the season with the NFL's best field goal percentage and set a new franchise record.
Tennessee Titans, the under new management sign apparently didn't mean they had stocked the shelves with new products. Now they're off to see what the #1 offense in football is all about. They are in Indianapolis. Colts looking for their 4th straight win.
A very compelling story in the 2025 NFL season. They're going to get a W in LA.
It's been a while since a Colts-Titans game appeared this lopsided on paper and maybe this lopsided on the field. Tennessee has been giving up 27 points per game on defense in 2025. Colts offense leads the NFL with 32 per contest after slapping the Chargers with 38, a defense that was holding teams to around 20 before they met up with Indianapolis.
Daniel Jones was looking for Tyler Warren on a deep throwback here, realized that the Chargers covered it well, instead checks it down to number 28.
The Indiana Jones show just isn't slowing down. Daniel, 288 yards, 2 TDs on 8.5 per attempt versus the Chargers, a 113 rate against a secondary holding quarterbacks to a sub-80 rate overall. Update his 100-plus games to 6 out of 7 now.
It's Pierce. Big play. The Colts keep generating major offense. That's 48 yards.
Next up, he faces a secondary that gave up a 135 rate to Drake May. 2 touchdowns allowed, didn't pick him off. Par for the course as they've given up a 101 rate for 2025, have allowed 73% of passes to be completed, 31st.
Play action, May over the middle. There's Hollins into Tennessee territory. Mac Hollins with a big play. He goes for 27, and the Patriots moving right down the field.
Mentioned their defense allowing 27 a game. They gave up 24 to New England. They're 23rd on 3rd down in the big picture, 24th in yards per play allowed.
And Drake May does a great job of finding and trusting his guy down there to make that throw.
Most of the yards their secondary surrendered last week to wideouts, 49 to Mac Hollins, 55 and a TD to Kayshon Boutte, 69 yards to Mr. Diggs. Indianapolis was missing Josh Downs last week. Alec Pierce led them with 98 yards, a season high, 67-plus yards in 3 of his last 4.
25 seconds left. Jones is on the money to Alec Pierce.
Michael Pittman scored again. That's 5 on the year, 4 in his last 5 games, chipped in 58 yards.
Touchdown, Indianapolis! The Colts are cooking!
And tight end Tyler Warren, continuing to give Chicago fans FOMO, scored with 69 yards, 63-plus yards in 3 of his last 4, has scored in 4 straight.
From the gun, Jones fires, end zone, touchdown, Tyler Warren! The Colts can do no wrong!
Tennessee's lone defensive Week 7 bright spot, they sacked May 4 times on just 23 pass attempts.
May in trouble and he's sacked. And that is Jihad Ward with his first sack of the year.
Jones only sacked once by Khalil Mack and company, and yeah, that was only the 6th sack taken so far, which means he's taken fewer than any quarterback in the land.
Sees that his guys left him a little meal to clean up and takes full advantage. Do you think the Chargers are happy to have Khalil Mack back?
We haven't even touched on the guy who has 10 touchdowns in his last 5 games. Jonathan Taylor with his 3rd TD hat trick of the year, hit for 94 rush yards versus LA, 5.9 per carry, so back-to-back 5.9 outings. He leads the NFL at 99 yards per game on the ground.
Jonathan Taylor all the way to the end zone, touchdown. The Colts offense picks up right where it left off in the first half.
He gets a rush defense, giving up 4.5 per try to ball carriers, just gave up 175 rush yards, 4.9 per jaunt, 88 yards to Ramondre Stevenson on close to 5 per.
Ramondre Stevenson walks it in for a touchdown. Fascinating drive by the Patriots.
So it appears the Colts are primed to feed on more than just hay this week, so Cam Ward's really going to have to show out to try and keep up. He does come in off his best NFL start, completed 73% of his passes, 250-plus yards, first game over 7 yards per attempt, first 90-plus rate game of his career.
Taking a deep shot, DK is down there, DK, touchdown!
He did not propel Tennessee's offense to new heights. 13 points, 3 for 10 on 3rd down, 0 trips to the red zone.
They weren't flashing the scores down there.
Ward lost the football, scooped up by Jason, and it's a touchdown!
They are second to last in scoring at 13 per game. Stacked against a Colts defense, 8th in points per game allowed at an even 20. Didn't lock LA's offense down, though. 24 points, 8 for 16 on 3rd down. Let him convert 3 of 4 red zone chances.
Right there. He's just going to slide inside at the last second as he sees that scramble attempt, which opens up the passing lane.
They were up 31-10 in the 3rd, though. Chargers threw 55 times trying to play catch-up. Fans have different takes on this kind of matter. They gave up 420 yards and 3 passing touchdowns to Justin Herbert, for example. That's not good, but they also picked him off twice.
Herbert had it knocked up in the air by Stewart, and then he's rewarded. Steichen and the Colts are loving it.
Their DBs weren't trying to let Keenan Allen score and go for 119 yards. They weren't trying to give up 164 yards and a touchdown to rookie tight end Oronde Gadsden. But account for the big picture if you want. Chimere Dike scored for Tennessee, 70 yards, easily the rookie's best showing so far.
And then Mike showed the whole team in a team meeting as Dike with a nice return across the 40-yard line.
Van Jefferson chipped in 41 yards, had 75 the week before.
So we've seen some amazing throws early on in this game in this first half from Cam Ward.
And Tony Pollard with 43 yards through the air versus New England.
Tony Pollard has been busy on this drive. He now has 6 catches for the game.
Pollard only 18 rush yards. The team ran for just 39, only 3.3 per try. And Ward is going to get into the dispensary biz soon if he doesn't stop smelling the grass at his current rate. 5 more sacks taken. No quarterback has been buried more than him.
Keeps getting up the field, and Cam Ward doesn't even have a chance on that one.
DeForest Buckner bagged Herbert twice in their win, hit him 4 times. Colts with 3 sacks and a fat 15 QB hits. Laiatu Latu with a sack and 4 QB hits as well. Colts now 5th in sacks for 2025.
Between Grover, Stewart, and Latu, just nowhere to go. They engulf him there.
Colts on a 5-game win streak against the Titans have only met in the playoffs once, the 1999 season.
Remember, it's our time! In the second round of the playoffs, Tennessee faced a potent Indianapolis offense, but the Titans defense stepped up to meet the challenge.
Put him away, Eddie! Do it right here!
Eddie George provided the knockout punch with an early third-quarter touchdown. The win left the Titans with one more house to clean.
The New York Jets are on the road, giving their fans a break from the agony at this point. They are in Cincinnati to take on what feels like a Bengals squad that found the fountain of youth, rejuvenated and ready to try and make an improbable second-half run.
Look at 38. High points it and just knocks it straight down.
Metcalf was down there, crowd chanting, "Who day, who day." Well, it's the second time we've seen Flacco do this on a Thursday night. He did it in Cleveland a couple of years ago.
Look, not sure what everyone is so surprised about. Cincinnati's recipe, always supposed to be give up a bunch of points on defense, counter it with a giant spoonful of Jamar, a scoop of tea, washed down with a cup of Joe. That produced 33 points last week, 2 more than their opponent, which is what Who Day expected before the season started.
Flacco fires, batted, and then it's caught there by T. Higgins.
97 gets a hand on the ball. Look at the length by T. Higgins. Look at the hands. Right hand is under. That's a catch.
13 more points than their season average. So can they keep it up? They could if the old guy isn't ready for the cart. I'm not dead yet. I feel happy. Maybe Joe Flacco feels good enough to go for a walk. He looked like he was out on a walk through the park versus Pittsburgh, 340-plus yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, a 108 rate, easily the best he's looked this year, maybe this decade. He's that old.
Then the lead and the pass is caught for the touchdown. Noah Fant, the tight end.
Flacco navigating. Look at the intensity. He might be zen on the sidelines, but he's back there in the pocket. He's got the eyes of just a locked-in quarterback.
Best part of watching him when he was on the bench with Jake Browning next to him looking at plays on that iPad. Kid, I don't know how that thing works, and there isn't a play I haven't seen, so get it out of here. So keep it rolling versus a winless Jets team, right? One of the 34 that Flacco played for, by the way. Not that simple, being they're up against a defense that's held its last 2 opponents to 13 points. Held Carolina to 5 for 17 on third down, 1 for 3 in the red zone.
Pressure is picked up as Dalton rolls and throws, looking for McMillan, and incomplete. Daisy Thomas was there because Sauce Gardner is out of the game, being evaluated for a concussion, and there is no flag at another stop from the Jets defense.
They held Bryce Young and Andy Dalton under 200 yards passing, just 6.2 per attempt, a sub-90 rate, after holding it down through the skies versus Bo Nix.
3rd and 4, quick throw. Took strong hands from McMillan, but knocked away by Sauce Gardner, and that's a matchup we'll keep an eye on. 2 of the best at what they do, one a rookie and one settling in his 4th year.
They have not faced the kind of pass catchers Cincinnati possesses. I want to see a lot of sauce on Chase this week. Jamar saw a fat 23 targets last week, caught 16 of them for 161 yards. That's 94-plus yards in 3 straight.
Flacco lost one. Chase makes this catch.
This is a matchup everybody wants to see. Jalen Ramsey against Jamar Chase. Condensed in tight to give him more room to work with. Perfectly thrown football. You knew Jamar Chase was not gonna drop that one.
Higgins, 6 catches, 96 yards and a score.
Higgins inside the 10. Higgins to the end zone. And a Cincinnati lead. 29 yards to the end zone.
Andre Yoshivash, 49 yards.
Flacco under pressure, going deep and hauled in. And stopped at the 21-yard line. Yoshivash
Noah Fant, 44 yards and a TD. It was the exact mix that's supposed to fuel that offense. First time it's really all come together this season.
Fake to Brown. Flacco rolls, throws, hits his man. Noah Fant beyond midfield. Tackle to the 44. Noah Fant.
Flacco took a couple of sacks, but when you throw 47 times, 2 sacks taken is no big. He's thrown 92 times for Cincinnati, only taken 3 sacks. They can work with that.
Flacco fires over the middle, finds his man, 30-yard line, right on the money to Jamar Chase.
Good job here by Zach Taylor, chipping both sides. Fant on T.J. Watt. They had P. Ryan on the other side to help out Orlando Brown. So Joe Flacco with enough time, and that's the big key. Will he have time?
Jets reached Carolina's quarterbacks twice, gave up 4.6 yards per carry to Rico Dowdle along the ground, but held Chuba Hubbard to 2.2 a run, keeping backs to 4.0 for 2025. Chase Brown up next. Last week, he was like, oh yeah, that's what a lane looks like. 108 yards, just 11 carries. He's hit at 4.7 or better back-to-back weeks. His 9.8 average versus Pittsburgh is silly.
In the opening half, big hole here. Once again, past the 40 to midfield. And this running game, which was non-existent, is on fire tonight. Chase Brown, this time for 37 yards. He's already run for 74.
Now for the Something's Got to Give chapter of the preview. Bengals defense hits Week 8 looking very much like the Bengals defense we've become accustomed to seeing. 31 points allowed, lots of big chunk plays given up, 7 for 10 on third down, 3 for 4 in the red zone. Fit their Homer Simpson body of work. They're giving up 30 a game on the year.
Look at this ball, very close to the connection for the touchdown.
Taking on an offense that's gone on strike apparently. What do you guys need? Better snacks in the break room? No touchdowns in the last 8 straight quarters of play. 2 field goals last week after a 3 field goal showing the week before.
And he got it. Something positive on that Jets sideline.
Justin Fields followed his -10 net yard passing performance versus Denver by getting benched after only mustering 25 net passing yards. Won't likely see a 2-game run like that again. Replaced by Tyrod Taylor, who came in and threw 2 INTs.
Floating one and reaching up. It's intercepted by Horn again. It looked like Josh Reynolds was going to catch that, but Horn got his hands on it first and wouldn't let go.
Tyler Johnson, the one Jets pass catcher with 32-plus yards, finished with 60 last week.
And pressure coming. Taylor gets out of it and throws on the run. Wide open. Catch made inside the 40. Tyler Johnson has a Jet first down.
Garrett Wilson sat out hurt. Maybe he sat out for other reasons. Who knows? Whoever goes this week gets a Bengals secondary that did pick off Aaron Rodgers twice. That was the bright spot. At least they pitched in. They also gave up 249 yards and 4 touchdowns to him. A 101 rate allowed in 2025. Not many teams giving up more passing yards per game this season.
Off the fake, going deep downfield, and it's going to be picked off. You've got Jordan Battle, who's had a couple already this season, and Battle with a big run back to the 44, and the crowd is going wild.
Cincinnati's pass rush, toothless versus Pittsburgh without Trey Hendrickson. Missed the game hurt. Didn't produce a single sack on 34 pass attempts, only 1 bag the week prior. Only have 11 over their 7 games. It's not a strength. Jets quarterbacks sacked 6 times in loss number 7. Fields took 9 the week before, 5 the week before that.
He can't get out of it, and it's another sack for Carolina, and that's the 4th of the game for the Panthers.
Jets ground game not hot either. Breece Hall enters off a 38-yard game, 3.5 a run, but maybe he gets it going versus a Cincinnati run defense that gave up 147 yards to a Pittsburgh rush attack that had not looked great prior. 7.4 yards per carry allowed, now giving up 4.7 a run to ball carriers overall.
He gets the football and he's tackled right away, and Fields remains the quarterback, and these fans are just not going to like that.
Bengals have beat the Jets 4 of the last 5 times they've met. New York had won 9 of the previous 10, though. Miami Dolphins hit the road Week 8, headed to Atlanta on a 3-game losing streak. 1 win on the year and seemingly getting worse with each passing week. Their offense only worth 6 points Week 7, taking on the Falcons, whose O was good for 10 points. So neither team on much of a high heading into this Week 8 matchup.
Watch Lenore here on this one. Diamador Lenore, watch him just butt push him right out of bounds. He's got him secured. There you go. Goodbye.
Make no bones about it, this game still means a lot to the Falcons, and their defense doesn't enter rattled by any means. Held San Francisco to 20 points, that's their season mark, which is top 10 good. Only 2 red zone trips allowed. No team is allowed fewer in 2025.
Trent takes his place, number 40 for the Falcons. Niners take over the 35. Mac Jones' throw is incomplete. Kittle had a lot of attention. Jones was getting a lot of pressure as well.
Miami's offense, good enough for 21 to 27 points weeks 2 to 6, fizzled out to 6 by going 1 for 13 on 3rd down, 4 turnovers, only 2 red zone trips, didn't convert either.
And beautifully played as Julian Hill tackled in the open field. Looks like he's going to be just short of that 1st down marker.
Head coach Mike McDaniel, still the head coach. Tua Tagovailoa, still his QB. Tua caught up to Geno Smith by throwing 3 INTs last week, 10 now for the season, 1 touchdown to the other team. That's back-to-back games with 3 picks.
That one is picked. Campbell, and he will waltz in for the pick 6 on the first play of the second half.
Falcons secondary held Mac Jones to 152 yards, under 6 yards per attempt, no touchdowns, 1 interception, a 64 rating. Tua trying to turn things around against a group, 2nd in rating allowed for the year, 3rd lowest completion percentage allowed, holding quarterbacks to 6 per attempt, 2nd lowest.
Ended it, started attacking right down the gut.
From the 23, off the hands of Jennings, and Ellis comes up with the interception. So Caden Ellis comes up with it, Mac Jones with the tackle, but the linebacker gets the pick.
Only CMC hurt them in their loss. They gave up 72 yards to him through the air. Everyone else under 32 yards. Only one Finn with more than 31. D. Eskridge with 45 on a 40-yard reception.
Quinn Ewers just tosses it up, giving his guy a shot, and they come down with the football. Eskridge.
What a catch. Oh, that was a great catch, and D. Eskridge. It's been a tough game today, but that was a really nice contested catch on the sideline.
Jalen Waddle just 15 yards. Malik Washington led with 8 targets, only 30 yards to show for them. Devon Achane, the only guy to show out a little, 82 yards on the ground, 6.3 yards per carry, broke away for a 46-yarder, 80-plus yards, 3 of his last 4, 5 per carry or better in those 3.
Oh, that speed, Tyson Campbell maybe saving a touchdown as Achane on a slick surface burns him for 46.
Maybe just hand him the ball 30 times and see what happens. Falcons defense did give up 2 touchdowns to McCaffrey, 129 yards on 5.4 per carry, and he had been scuffling as a runner before he met up with them.
Here he is on the run, inside, pushing the pile to the goal line, in for the touchdown! Have a day, have a night, CMC.
Still, it was more their offense not coming through than anything else last week. 10 points versus a San Francisco defense without Bosa or Warner. Just 2 red zone trips. They've scored 24 plus just twice in 6 games.
Nye essentially plays so much fullback role for this Falcons team. Next to Penix and protecting. Robinson, edge, first down. Bijan Robinson, touchdown Atlanta.
Michael Penix fumbled once, only took 2 sacks on 38 pass attempts. Hurt his foot too. They say he's day-to-day, so probably okay. No interceptions, 1 touchdown, 241 yards versus the Niners.
He comes in to rush the passer. You better pay attention to it.
They may have ruled that a fumble, and Niners ball for now.
Only an 83 rating, the result of just 6.3 yards per attempt. Only 1 pass went for 20-plus yards last week, 21 of 38 passing, too. Lots of incompletions. Miami's defense gave up 24 points as they were behind the 8 ball a lot thanks to Tua. Giving up 29 a game on the year, though, letting teams convert plenty of 3rd downs.
See the young kid, the quarterback, I'd like to see him throw the ball down the field a little bit.
Gabriel again threads the needle. This is Corley hasn't been a big piece of this offense yet. He picks up 17.
Their secondary, at least, held Dylan Gabriel to 116 yards, no touchdowns, held every Browns pass catcher under 40 yards.
Yeah, and this can't happen. Look at how deep everybody drops. This is 3rd and long, and there's no regard for Fannin out there in the flat.
And even after that showing, still last in rating allowed and completion percentage allowed, only 1 pick for the year. So might have been a Dylan Gabriel thing. Penix took 2 sacks, 38 pass attempts. Dolphins, 2 sacks on 18 attempts. Atlanta with 4 pass catchers cracking 40 last week. Drake London with 42.
Yeah, he's got it. First down. Drake London extending on the way out of bounds.
This is absolutely on the money to one hand, never even considered, used his right hand to pin the defensive back so he could make the catch.
Far cry from his 150-plus yard outing the week before. 42 yards on 10 targets is rough. Kyle Pitts, 62 yards, has 60-plus in 2 of his last 3.
The wheel route, go up the boundary here. You have one person short, and anytime you have somebody with the kind of arm strength that Penix has, just put it in there perfectly.
Darnell Mooney led them with 68 yards, season high for Mooney Tunes.
Penix drifting, now using that big, powerful arm. In traffic, Mooney, not tackled. Stays on his feet to the 22-yard line. Will the Falcons use that timeout? Yes.
And Bijan with 52 receiving yards and a touchdown.
Ball to number 7.
Yes.
Get out of his way. Got LeBron James. Let him play.
Robinson only 40 rush yards and just 2.9 a carry, so major drop-off for him from the week before, too. Gets a Dolphins front that gave up 84 yards and 3 rush TDs to Quinshon Judkins.
Unleashed! Judkins! Touchdown!
Held him to 3.4 a run, though, so again, those short fields kill, man. Finn's Dirty Birds 9-5 in favor of Aqua. Took till 1986 for Atlanta to finally beat Miami after losing the first 4. The juggernaut Cleveland Browns head east week 8. Off they go to New England, off yet another dominant showing.
And the Cleveland Browns, a team that had gone 11 straight games without eclipsing 17 points, they break through today.
What, the Browns have had dominant showings before, so what if this was the first one of the year? They might be hard-pressed to produce another versus the Patriots. They're looking for their 5th straight win.
Patriots win their 4th consecutive game. They improved to 5-2.
New England's 4th straight win was a semi-stroll through the park versus a team that sort of looks Ohio as well. Oh man, I think that actually worked. Drake giving Bears fans FOMO. May hit Tennessee with a couple of touchdowns, no picks, a 135-plus rate.
May, end zone, Hooper! Touchdown!
So let's make it 6 straight 100-plus rate games now. Pat's offense accounted for 24 of their 31 points versus Tennessee, 5 for 12 on 3rd down. They've been solid enough moving the sticks overall, at least 23-plus points in 4 straight.
Ramondre Stevenson walks it in for a touchdown.
Stacked against a Cleveland defense that held Miami to 6 points, 1 for 13 on 3rd down, only 2 trips allowed to the red zone, their D touching it down for them once. 6 points is well under their season average, though that number is a reflection of 2 really rough games. Have held 4 of their 6 foes under 24 points.
Is picked Campbell, and he will waltz in for the pick 6.
Myles Garrett finally ended his sackless streak, nabbed 1 of 4 Cleveland sacks. Garrett has 5 on the year.
Myles Garrett coming with the heat.
And May did take 4 sacks to the Titans. 5th time in 7 games, he's gone down 3+ times.
Well, May in trouble, and T'Vondre Sweat brings him down.
Being reached at home hasn't stopped him from making several booty calls, though. Tapped Kayshawn again for a touchdown last week, 55 yards, has scored back-to-back games.
May taking a deep shot down the field. Booty is down there! Touchdown!
Stephon Diggs led the way with 69 yards, 28 the week prior, couple couple of 100-plus yard games the 2 weeks before that.
Good protection from May, steps up, and he's got a first down. Stephon Diggs across the 35.
May to Hunter Henry, good for 33 yards versus the Titans. Demario Douglas, 17 yards. Austin Hooper, 11 and a touchdown. And Mac Hollins, a couple catches for 49 yards. 7 different dudes with at least a catch.
May looking for Mac Hollins along the sideline. He's got him.
Cleveland's DBs didn't allow anyone 50 yards. They picked off Tua Tagovailoa 3 times, held him to 100 yards.
Down, and that one is picked.
Did give up a 46-yard run to Devon Achane as part of an 82-yard day, though.
And off Achane. Achane breaking free.
Out of character, holding running backs to 3.5 a run still. That's top 3. And no team has been harder on quarterbacks at 1.9 a carry. May is a runner. Season high, 62 yards week 7, 7.8 per excursion.
And he's going to run it again. He's got a little bit of room to run, and Drake May.
And Ramondre Stevenson also coming in off a season best showing, 88 yards, 4.9 per carry, a touchdown, held onto the ball.
Stevenson rips off another big run.
Cleveland's run game powered their season best 31-point showing versus Miami. 24. Their defense also made a house call and set them up with some short fields that Quinshon Judkins took advantage of. He hits week 8 off a TD hat trick.
Judkins unleashed. Judkins touchdown.
24 points for a team that hadn't put up 18 is a step in the right direction at least, but now on to a New England defense that held Tennessee to 13. They've now held 6 of the 7 teams they've played to 21 or less.
Ward lost the football, scooped up by Jason, and it's a touchdown!
Didn't let Tennessee into the red zone once, which is like holding... Well, it's like holding the Browns to those kind of numbers. Believe they're neighbors in points per game. Play versus the pass last week. Not spectacular, just didn't really matter. But New England wasn't trying to give up 250-plus yards to Cam Ward. 7.5 yards per attempt allowed, a 90-plus rate.
Shot, DK is down there! DK, touchdown!
Which was a season high for him, had never been over 6.9 yards per attempt or a 90-plus rate. On to another rookie, Dylan Gabriel got his first NFL win last week, rating right near 90 on 13 of 18 passing.
Amidst all the offensive issues, they catch it here with Thrash.
116 yards, under 6.5 yards per attempt. Team was 4 for 11 on third down, so not exactly doing a ton to deflect the Shador talk. Harold Fannin Jr., Jerry Jeudy, etc., under 40 yards receiving last week. Taking 2 sacks, normally not terrible, but it's not great on just 18 pass attempts.
Done a good job protecting him as Jalen Phillips finally gets to the quarterback. Second sack of Gabriel.
Pat's pass rush more fierce than Miami's. Crashed Ward's party 5 times. Harold Landry with 1, up to 5 now. Kaylavon Chason with 2. He's up to 4.5.
Chason with the sack.
And that front, a tough one for Judkins to run on. Holding running backs to 3.2 a run, elite stuff. Held Tennessee to 39 rush yards total.
Pollard, and he's not going to get there.
New England up by 1 versus the Browns all time, 14-13. Faced each other in the 1994 playoffs. Cleveland had a coach named Bill Belichick. Jordan Hudson was born 6 years later, I think.
On New Year's Day, Cleveland made its first postseason appearance since 1989.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, these 2 guys.
Against New England, Testaverde's playoff debut was vindication for Vinny, who performed with exceptional composure. At one point, he completed 11 straight.
Let's go! Come on!
And all afternoon played error-free football.
Vinny looking, end zone, now rushed right, has a man open in the end zone, throws, touchdown Browns, Mark Carrier, 5 yards from Testaverde, and the Browns have regained the lead.
There, lock the corner! Lock the corner!
The first half ended in a 10-10 tie. The second half belonged to the Browns.
Handoff is to Leroy Horde, he cuts it 5, touchdown Browns! Bledsoe back in the pocket, throws, ball is tipped, ball is intercepted by Turner. Eric Turner comes up big again. The party is started as the teams start off towards the middle of the field, and the Browns have won it 20-13.
Over 78,000 fans had witnessed a classic matchup between a respected teacher and several of his prize students. On this first day of the new year,
That's a hell of a job this year, Bill.
the pupils had prevailed.
I'll be rooting for you. Nice going.
Really wish this was in Green Bay. Pittsburgh Steelers come in a little shell-shocked. I mean, real Pittsburgh fans were worried last week was a trap game. Turned out they were correct.
Snap good, hold good, kick good. What a night.
Aaron Rodgers seeking revenge against his former employer, of course. The Green Bay Packers are in town, feeling very fortunate to have just won their 4th game.
On 4th down, through the end zone, it's batted down, and that will be the exclamation point.
Was not supposed to be that hard. Nonetheless, Packers 4-1-1 now, still first place in the NFC North, on to Pittsburgh. And bottom line, they're on to Pittsburgh off a 27-point outing. It wasn't clean, but the facts are facts. Green Bay has put up 27-plus points in 5 of 6, 27 exactly 4 times.
Inside the 5 to the end zone, touchdown, Josh Jacobs.
Against a Steelers defense once again lined up along the key, hoping to rebound. 33 points allowed to a team averaging less than 20 per game. Couldn't stop them down the stretch. That's the 3rd time they've allowed 30-plus points this season.
Higgins inside the 10. Higgins to the end zone.
Now they take on Jordan Love. Good enough last week?
Jordan Love pulls the ball out and gets it to his favorite tight end, Tucker Kraft, for the touchdown.
But nothing eye-popping. 179 through the air, a touchdown, no picks, a 93 rating, just 6.2 yards per attempt. 3rd time he's ended with less than 190 yards. 1st time under 7 yards per attempt. Steelers secondary giving up 258 yards per game in 2025. Bottom of the barrel material. Made Joe Flacco look 25 again. 340 plus yards, 3 touchdowns, didn't pick him off. A 108 rate allowed. 160 plus yards allowed to Jamar Chase and a touchdown. A TD and 96 yards allowed to T. Higgins. Darius Slay, 75 yards allowed. Jalen Ramsey, 57 and a touchdown. Both guys have rates allowed over 109 on the year.
This is a matchup everybody wants to see. Jalen Ramsey against Jamar Chase.
Packers pass catchers, Matthew Golden, 37 yards last week for Green Bay. Tucker Kraft with some big late grabs, scored 58 yards.
And the reason they give it to Tucker Kraft, he is leading tight ends in run after catch.
He had 10 targets, Romeo Doubs 8. He led them with 72 yards. They're the 2 most consistent contributors through the air.
Love throws, and it's caught for a first down by Dobbs.
Love only took 1 sack, 29 pass attempts, 3 straight games now with 1 sack taken. Steelers pass rush only got to Flacco twice on 47 pass attempts, nothing to write home about, and no letters or emails on how they played the run either, giving up over 100 yards to Chase Brown, 142 given up overall, and a fat 6.2 an attempt.
And that time, heck of a job by that left side of the offensive line to open that one up.
Josh Jacobs, next in line, scored twice versus Arizona, 55 yards, 2 TDs battling illness. That's 2 touchdowns and 3 straight for JJ.
So watch the tackles that he breaks. He sets them up. That's why you have this running back. That's why he's so special.
Packers defense versus a Pittsburgh offense that comes in off a 31-point outing, 7 for 10 on 3rd down, 3 for 4 in the red zone versus the Bengals. Should have been enough for a win, as good or better than it had looked in any game this year.
Directing traffic, throws, and it is Holden for the touchdown.
Aaron Rodgers did throw a couple of picks. There's your Week 7 offensive blemish from their loss to the Bengals. But Rodgers threw for 4 touchdowns, the 4th a bomb in crunch time, 249 yards, a 103 rate, so now a run of 3 straight 100-plus games.
Downfield, caught, and going all the way to the end zone.
Green Bay's secondary just gave up 279 yards and 2 touchdowns without picking off Jacoby Brissett, gave up a 110 rate to him, close to 8 yards per attempt. Their secondary has good numbers versus the pass for 2025 overall, first in yards per attempt allowed, for example, but they didn't play Brissett and company as well.
There's Brissett. He throws, end zone, touchdown.
Rodgers has been extremely tough to track down at home. 0 sacks taken last week on 34 pass attempts. Hasn't had a visitor in 3 of their last 4 games.
Rodgers has time, throws, caught.
Micah Parsons will at least knock. Tracked down Brissett 3 times. Green Bay hit him 12 times. Rashawn Gary, one of their 6 QB takedowns.
As Brissett has the ball knocked loose. Bumbo. It's recovered by the Packers.
Packers secondary gave up 40 yards to Michael Wilson, 58 to Marvin Harrison, 67 to Zay Jones, 74 and 2 touchdowns to tight end Trey McBride. 2 Steelers pass catchers hit Week 8 off games with 50-plus receiving yards. Tight end Pat Freiermuth, one of them. Welcome to 2025. 31 yards. That was Muth's high before last week's 2-touchdown, 111-yard showout.
I think a lot of people have forgotten about Pat Freiermuth. Don't forget about 88.
DK Metcalf's TD streak came to an end, but he chipped in 50 yards at least.
Deep down the right sideline, had his man. It is Metcalf making the catch.
Jonnu Smith, 28 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Warren, 4 catches, 31 yards, but he blew up on the ground. 127 on a hefty 7.9 yards per carry. Best Pittsburgh's rush attack has looked all year.
So even when you know it's coming with 1,000 pounds, you still can't stop it.
Packers defense holding running backs to 3.7 a carry, top 5 good. And so are Pittsburgh Dad and the Grossi posse. It's time for the 2 YouTube goats to take off their gloves and get dirty, though both tend to keep it pretty clean, which is why they're so good. Cheeseheads lead the Steel 20-17, met up once in the playoffs. Maybe you remember it.
Stay together today. We're going to dominate all day. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
3rd and 1. Rodgers play action. Looks to the end zone. Rainbows Jordy Nelson. He's got it. Touchdown. And Rodgers to Jordy Nelson. Back to throw Roethlisberger. Pump fake short. Weaving his way to the 5. Leaping end zone. It's a touchdown. Throws it over the middle. Leaping grab is made at the goal line.
It's 4th down, and this Super Bowl comes down to one play.
Off the hands of Wallace, there is your Super Bowl dagger. The Green Bay Packers are world champions of football. Yeah, baby!
Washington Commanders hobbling off to Kansas City for Monday Night Football this week. 2-game losing streak. Losers in 3 of their last 4. They get the Chiefs next. Know a rice farmer that says it makes everything better? Guess he was right.
And they bring him back around. And they toss it to him. It's Rice cutting through, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown.
And now we can see what the Chiefs are really made of. Patrick has all his Mahomies in the fold all at once finally. Was already starting to find his rhythm before getting Rashee Rice back anyway. 286 yards last week, 3 touchdowns versus Vegas, a 126 rate, 3+ TDs in 3 of his last 4, 124+ rate in 3 of his last 4, 255+ yards in 4 in a row.
Mahomes down the middle, and he's got him. Hollywood for the touchdown.
In turn, Kansas City's offense dripping in off a 31-point beatdown of the Raiders, converted 4 of 5 red zone chances, 28+ points, 4 straight games.
But it's a touchdown for the moment by Pacheco.
And now onto a Washington defense that just gave up 37 points. They've surrendered 24+ points in 5 of 7 games.
No one home. Touchdown, Dallas.
The Washington secondary Mahomes faces gave up 3 touchdowns to Dak Prescott, 260+ yards, no INTs, a 130 rate allowed, almost 9 yards per attempt.
Launching, going deep. Pickens, good coverage. He's
He's got it!
No team giving up more than their 8.3 yards per attempt for the year, a 105 rating allowed, gave up a 74-yard TD to CD Lamb, 110 yards total, 80-plus yards to George Pickens, 2 touchdowns to tight end Jake Ferguson. Mahomes spread his balls to 9 guys last week. Hollywood Brown scored only 14 yards. Xavier Worthy, Juju Smith-Schuster, 35 yards each. Tyquan Thornton hauled in a 39-yard pass. Rice scored twice, 42 yards in his first game of the year, led the team in targets with 10, too.
Then it is caught by Rice for his second touchdown of the game.
Travis Kelce led them in yards with 54.
And look who's wide open. It's Kelce. And he lowers the shoulder at the Raider 40.
Washington only 1 Dak sack. Mahomes only took 1 sack, keeps bolting and converting first downs. Kansas City rang up 152 yards in their Week 7 win.
Look at Pacheco, still going. Oh, what a run by Pacheco.
Not super efficient at 3.7 yards per carry. Washington gave up 116 to Javonte Williams on 6.1 a run. He scored on him too. They've struggled versus the run back-to-back games.
Give it to Javonte Williams, up the gut and in. Touchdown, Dallas.
Commanders' offense also with issues to fix. Really, they need their A-listers back. Played without Terry McLaurin again, and without Debo, and then without Jaden Daniels after he left with a hurt hammy.
And Daniels is slow to get up. Oh, boy.
Oh, man, his legs got bent back on the blitz by James.
Did throw for a touchdown and ran one in before getting hurt. Marcus Mariota came in, threw a pick 6.
Being ripped away, stays alive, throws it in the flat, and picked off. Guess who? Deron Bland. One man to beat. Pick 6.
Mariota and Daniels ran for 69 yards combined. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt just 33, only 2.5 a carry, under 4 per attempt back-to-back games. Washington's shorthanded offense sputtering to 20 points.
They're going to run it, and not very far. Ezraku, the rookie, all over Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
They get a Kansas City defense that just pitched a shutout, dominated on all fronts, didn't allow Vegas into the red zone once, didn't let them convert a single third down on 9 tries, held Ashton Genty to 21 yards, 3.5 a run. No Raiders pass catchers had 35 yards, held Geno Smith to 67 yards, no touchdowns, 4.2 per attempt.
Past the line and he falls. Karlaftis in on the tackle.
Didn't have to deal with Brock Bowers or Jacoby Myers, but they could be looking at yet another shorthanded club, and they're holding teams to 17 a game, third fewest, top 10 on third down, and letting teams inside the 20.
3rd and 20, they're in on him. Somehow he got the pass away, incomplete.
Commanders have played the Chiefs 11 times and lost 10 of them on an 8-game win streak against them. Only time Washington has taken them as the Redskins in 1983.
I've never been a, rah-rah type of guy and a cheerleader type of fella. For me, it's business. I have a job to do, and I go out and do it the best I can. And when I'm not on the football field, I'm over on the bench.